Hi everyone, this is for the overview for this week, and what I'm really trying to do here is I'm going to go over the paper assignment that's going to be due in week 4 so you can start thinking about it, and so that's what I'm going to focus on for this week. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be really brief. First I'm going to clarify the assignment and what you're going to have to be writing the paper on. Then I'll talk about what you should be doing this week, this current week, and then I will explain what's going on next week because it's going to be set up a little differently than the previous weeks. So to begin, don't procrastinate on the paper. You can start thinking about it now. The description will be on module 4, so you can find it there. What you're going to have to do, these are the main elements of it. The first is you're going to explain the theory of mind problem. So what's the issue? The question is, what is the mind, since we can't touch it, feel it, taste it, anything like that. So how are why is that an issue that we're going to deal with in philosophy? So just a brief overview of that, which is back a few lessons ago. Then you're going to answer this question. This is the main thing. What I want to do is give you a way to apply the theories to something that's relative and relevant to today's world. So the question is going to be, if we were to produce artificial intelligence, would we say it's a mind? Um, I'm not asking you whether it's possible. That's a different question. There's some info on the module on that debate. But the focus here is assuming that somehow we've got this thing that we think is artificial intelligence. Are we going to grant that that has a mind? Or is it something that's different than a mind? So that's the question you're going to be answering. That's the main thing. And that makes it a little more relevant than just an abstract paper on the theories of mind. But you are going to have to do this. You're going to present the theory of mind that you're going to apply to this, whether it's dualism, behaviorism, functionalism, reductive materialism, whichever it is, you want to explain that theory. So I'm looking for you to be able to clarify that theory for me. And then you're going to explain and defend your answer to the question, is artificial intelligence a mind? So you're going to use that theory to base your argument on. This theory would say this thing has a mind or it does not have a mind, and then present your case for why it wouldn't have a mind based on that theory. That's how the paper is going to be set up. So I want to give you a context in which to apply this. I generally, intro to philosophy papers have the issue and set up, well, present the argument for one of these theories, and they're not really good in the sense that they're hard to connect to something real. So I want to try to do this, and I'm trying this differently. The ethics papers I've done in the past are really easy. I can use a movie and I can give you a scenario to apply a theory with. This one I actually thought about using some movies and having you write whether the thing that's created in the movie is artificial intelligence or not. But I thought it might just work easier. It'd save you watching the movie. If you assume it's true that artificial intelligence, somebody's claimed it's artificial intelligence, are we going to grant that it has a mind? So that's the setup of the paper. Now, to get to that point, this week, which is week 3, you're doing the discussion forum. Half the class is presenting one of the theories of mind. You want to explain what the theory of the mind is, and the other half is giving an argument for it. So you're going back and forth. This should give you the basis for understanding the theory and start working through how that particular theory of mind would address the question of whether it has a mind. It gets those basics down. And it also gives me a chance to clarify some issues that'll come up with the theories to make it clearer for you guys. And then there's a quiz. And I set this up in a way that it's more for me to have an opportunity to see what your thinking is on the different theories and give you feedback. So if you're off track a little bit on something, I can give you the feedback right away. What I've done in the past is done this in a discussion forum. So the discussion forum, the week the paper is due, is give me a selection of your paper and then I'll comment on it. And I have the rest of the class comment on them. I didn't always like the comments that sent through it. So this way I thought, why don't I make this part of the quiz? So this will be the quiz for week 3. Is you're going to have some basic questions identifying what theories are which and what their claims are, what the basic argument is based on the reading. But then the other questions are, what your thoughts are. Give me a summary of the theory. What are you thinking is going to do, so you can get some feedback on the theory you're going to apply to your paper. So that's due, and I'll start working on those later in the week and early next week so that you've got them plenty of time for the paper. And now next week, this is your question: is that thing sitting there next to this woman a mind or not? So you're going to be working on the materials for the module. I'm going to have them up here shortly, hopefully by Friday, Saturday morning again. So it'll be there, so you have it for the weekend. I've got some of the materials. It's a question of the other ones, and I'm also getting the rubric and everything ready. So for the paper and a fuller description of it. Again, once you get the quiz back, use my help to clarify what you say about the theory when you're writing on that. So take a look at the feedback I give you. I'll give you responses there. And then you'll be writing the paper. And as I said, there'll be a fuller description and rubric posted in the module, so you can do that. That's what I'm working on at the moment. So that's all ready. And finally, the discussion. This is going to be, instead of having a required discussion this week, I'm opening the discussion to any questions you have. And I would ask that you post questions about the assignment or any of the theories of mine to that discussion. That way I can respond to them, and everybody in class can look at the responses. That way, if they have the same question, they'll be able to get an answer right away from that. So that's going to be the discussion. I'll have that open here shortly, that you can start posting questions on the paper, but it's not required. If you don't want to ask questions, it's not. If you do respond to somebody and I like the response, I'm going to, use that as an extra credit, P or P plus, whatever, for the discussion. So you'll be able to get a chance to make up some. If you're missing, maybe you raise your grade on a couple of those. But you're not required to do this. There's enough other ones you can do throughout the term to get everything satisfied. So if you have questions, feel free to contact me.